My name's Adriana, my husband Raul is behind the camera, and we're missionaries living and serving in Nicaragua with Resonate Global Mission. Normally we would love to get together with you one-on-one, in small groups, or at your churches to talk about ministry and life in Central America. But because of COVID and travel restrictions, that's not possible right now. So we thought we'd make these small videos about different topics to chat with you about what's going on. So welcome to our home. Come to the table, have some fellowship, and this is Table Talk. Welcome to Table Talk again. You'll notice that our table is different. That's because Raul and I have come to the U.S. And today I'd like to share a little bit about our travel experience so that if you're interacting with other missionaries who are coming in, you'll have a better appreciation for what the travel experience to the U.S. might look like for them. To start off, to come to the U.S., we needed a U.S. tourist visa for Raul. This isn't true for people who are residents or citizens of the U.S., but since Raul is from Nicaragua and we haven't gotten him his green card yet, he still needs a tourist visa. And right now, a lot of the embassies around the world are closed for regular tourist visas. But we were able to apply for an expedited medical visa because he still needs some vaccines from after his splenectomy. When they took his spleen out, they recommended several shots, including the Haemophilus influenza B or Hib shot, and we can't find that in Nicaragua. And there were a few others that we couldn't find, but we found just before we left for the US. And based on that, then we were able to apply for a visa, an emergency medical visa, and we're very grateful to the doctors both in Nicaragua and in the US who facilitated that, and grateful to God because He opened the doors for Raul to have a 10-year tourist visa. So we feel much relief over being able to travel whenever we need to now, instead of having to worry about whether or not the embassy is open to give a visa. So we got the visa for Raul. From there, we had to buy flights. A lot of people in Nicaragua are choosing to travel by land to Costa Rica and fly out of Costa Rican airports because it's been cheaper. But we figured that by the time that we traveled and got a taxi or a bus and stayed somewhere overnight, that it would be about the same cost. And so we found tickets out of Managua to Miami to Chicago. To come into the United States, we needed to get a negative COVID test within 72 hours of our departure, or 3 days of landing in the US. So on Monday morning, we went to a COVID testing center. Nicaragua only has one hospital open for this, only one place that you can get the official COVID test administered. And we waited in line for about 3 hours. We probably saw 500 to 1,000 people in there that day getting COVID tests. Some of them maybe were sick, but most of them I think were trying to get it for travel purposes. We received our results that evening by email. We logged into the computer system. We were able to validate them, and then we went to the airport on Wednesday morning with our COVID tests in hand, and we had registered on several different databases and lists that the airline had sent us ahead of time, and we were able to make it through our check-in just fine. And then we had to check in at immigration, and I needed to get an exit visa because I have a temporary residency in Nicaragua. And then we had to present our itinerary for flights again, and also our negative COVID test, not only to the airline but also to the Nicaraguan officials. We went through security, waited at our gate, and calmly boarded our plane. When we got to Miami, there was a long lineup, but the interview itself went pretty easily, and we didn't have to show our COVID test, but they do say that we need to have them ready in case of needing to show a negative COVID test upon coming into the States. That's what a lot of people are having to do, and it's a big process. It feels like a lot of pressure in those last few days when you're trying to leave your house in order, your car in somebody's care, your dog's in somebody's care. It was a stressful time in the last couple of days before leaving Nicaragua, but we thank God because everything turned out smoothly and we were able to even rest before we traveled and then after travel. And now we're here and we're thankful because we can be with family here in Northwest Indiana while we still maintain our regular work. And then we're also doing some medical visits to see doctors and get different vaccines for Raul and for myself that we haven't been able to get in Nicaragua. So we're very thankful for this opportunity to be here. We're not doing so much visiting churches this time because with the new position, there have been some changes with that, and so we will schedule what they call a reconnect time in the future. But we are thankful for the opportunity to be in a different rhythm, a different environment, and after a year and a half of not seeing the family, it's really great just to be able to eat dinner together. So we're thankful for that. We're thankful for you, and hopefully this was an interesting tidbit about what travel looks like nowadays. Thanks for being part of this.